Hello Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So Sag, today we're going to go over your energy as well as your person's energy. So with that being said, Sag, let's get started. How does Sagittarius currently view this relationship? Okay, Sag. So we do have the Page of Pentacles. We do have the Seven of Cups, and then we also have the Four of Pentacles. I feel like there's somebody here that you want to extend yourself to, but you're not entirely sure if you should. You're not entirely sure if you should. Now, keep in mind the roles could be reversed. There could be somebody who wants to extend themselves to you, but they're not entirely sure if they should. But for the sake of the reading, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is you, but it doesn't have to be you because the roles could be reversed. But yeah, I do feel like there's somebody that you want to reach out to, but you're just like, I don't know if I should. I feel like you're kind of like worried and concerned about what their response / reaction is going to be if in the event you do decide, to like reach out to them. Like, are they going to be open, for example, towards having a conversation with you? Or are they not going to be open towards having a conversation with you? I just kind of feel like you and this person ended things on like really, really bad like terms is kind of what I'm getting. And I feel like that's what kind of has you like thinking like, are they going to be open and receptive towards having a conversation with me or not? It looks like you've been wanting to have a conversation with this person. I just kind of feel like what has caused you to kind of like not reach out to this person has a lot to do with that. Like, how are they going to respond? How are they going to react? Like, it has that type of feel to it. How does this person currently view this relationship? Okay. So we do have the Four of Cups, we do have the Strength card, and then we also have the Lovers out here. Before I say anything, I do want to look at the Four of Cups. Tell me more about the Four of Cups. Okay. All right. So in regards to how this person is currently viewing this relationship, it kind of looks like the moment things essentially went south here, between you and this person, they've definitely taken, I would say, like a massive break from love. I wouldn't necessarily say that their experience with you caused them to fall into this energy of, I never want anything to do with love ever again. I wouldn't go as far as to say all of that. I just kind of feel like it put them in the mood to not really want to focus on love and or prioritize love, if that makes any sense. It looks like this person, if anything, has been keeping themselves extremely busy / occupied with work, their growth, their expansion, things of that nature. But as far as like love is concerned, it just kind of looks like right now they're not in the mood for it. Right now, it kind of looks like they don't want really anything to do, with love is basically what I'm getting. So there's nobody basically in this person's life right now. And like I said, I do feel like it does have a lot to do with like, their experience, with you. Maybe you guys were together for a long period of time and then, unfortunately you guys broke up and, they may not be so quick to want to be in a whole new relationship right now. That's a possibility, but it kind of looks like that's just kind of what this person currently finds themselves up to, more of the story. Let's jump back over to you though. How does Sagittarius currently feel? Okay, so we do have the Hermit, we do have the Eight of Swords, and then we also have the, okay, Hermit, Eight of Swords, Queen of Cups, Six of Pentacles, Two of Wands. Okay. All right. In regards to how you're currently feeling, this to me kind of feels like you're experiencing like an all of a sudden like change of heart is kind of what I'm gathering. It's like you go from not wanting anything to do with them to wanting everything to essentially do with them is basically what I'm getting. Now here's the thing, okay? Because you went from not wanting anything to do with this person, I feel like that in itself causes you to feel like, but what if, this person, doesn't want anything to do with me now? It has that type of, feel to it. But needless to say, it does appear to me that you do miss this person. It does appear to me that you do want this person back. You're just unsure, you know, if they're going to feel the same way or not. Okay, well, let's look at this person. How does this person currently feel? Okay. So we do have the Two of Cups. We do have the Knight of Pentacles. And then we all... Yeah, you still got a chance with this one over here. That's one thing I will say. This person does definitely miss you and what they once upon a time had with you. But I am definitely getting, you know, that this person's kind of like, you know, it is what it is. You know, they're forcing themselves to move forward and move on with their life. You know, it is what it is. I feel like this person's just trying to, you know, respect the fact that, you know, you don't want anything to do with them. And they're just trying to just, you know, do them and focus on them and just move forward and move on with their life. But are there times where this person tends to think about you and the good old times that they had with you? Absolutely. And are there times where this person, you know, still kind of wishes that you guys were together? Yeah, absolutely. But I don't see this person, you know, taking any sort of action in your direction. I don't see this person trying to bring this relationship back together all over. I just don't see them doing that. If anything, I just kind of see them forcing themselves to just be like, yeah, you know, it's time to move forward and it's time to move on. It is what it is. You know, I keep getting that. It is what it is from this person. This is not that type of person that's ever going to force a person to be with them. That's the thing. Like, the moment you decided to call it quits, you know, they just turned around and instantly respected it, because they're not that type of person that's going to like beg a person to be with them or stay with them. They just don't, that's just not their stilo. They just don't roll like that is basically what I'm getting. What actions? Okay, let's do this. We have the Nine of Pentacles. We have the Empress. Oh, here we go. So I do see you extending yourself to this person. Okay. And I do see you conveying to this person, you know, how, you know, you miss them and how you want to work things out with them and, you know, things of that nature. I'm very curious to see what this person's response and reaction is going to be. What actions? Okay, Page of Wands basically represents somebody who's on the receiving end of some sort of news/communication. So this is acting as a double confirmation that you will extend yourself to this person. What actions? Ooh. That's a very conflicting energy in itself, but I feel like a part of them is going to be glad that you're back. I feel like a part of them is going to essentially be glad that, you know, you want to like get back together and work things out with them. But then there's that other part of them that's like, damn, like, I don't know though. I don't know. They're conflicted. The part of them that's like, I don't freaking know though. I don't know if this is a good idea. Has a lot to do with certain things that they've essentially been through with you that they don't want to essentially go through again. Okay. This is one of those things, dude, where you're going to have to essentially reassure this person that they're not going to find themselves going through X, Y, and Z all over again, you know, with you. I'm not entirely sure what they're referring to over here. When it comes down to whatever it is that they don't want to go through again, obviously you would know, but you're just going to have to like really like show this person that you've changed. You're just going to have to really show this person that they don't have to worry about this, that, and the third, and that you're not going to put them through this, that, and the third ever again. It's going to take a whole lot of you proving yourself and reassuring this person to get this relationship back on track all over again. But do you still have a fighting chance, my friend? Absolutely. 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 So that is what I have for you. Hopefully the reading helped. Hopefully it resonated. And I will see you guys in your next reading. Bye.